If you're coming to Jamaica and you want a real adventure to discover unique places truly off the beaten path, then you need to go inland all the way in the hills and look under your feet. The chances are there will be a hidden cave. And I'm not even exaggerating. How many caves do you think there are in Jamaica? 5, 10, maybe 100? Jamaica has over 1,000 cave systems. 1,000 for an island of this size. How did that happen? And why don't we hear of Jamaica as the primary caving experience destination? Trust me, that experience is certainly one of a kind. Oh wait, don't trust me. Just watch the video. I'm going to share it with you right now. A couple of years ago, as I was filming Jamaica Video Guide, I was lucky to take a part in a field trip run by Jamaica Caves Organization, which is a non-profit group founded in 2002 dedicated to the discovery, exploration and preservation of the caves of Jamaica.
Does she have helmet?
Yeah, I've got a helmet and a headlamp for her.
Okay,
and
I have a light.
Okay.
The goal of the expedition was to investigate one of the cave systems known as Dromilly Cave, located in northwest of Cockpit Country in the parish of Trelawny. A part of the cave serves as a biological preserve where people would not usually be allowed, so for me this was a secret place revealed.
Section that we will be using, that's okay?
Oh, perfect. Yeah, that's excellent, man. Yeah.
Nearly 2/3 of Jamaica is covered with limestone. Because of the great amount of precipitation received in the hills, the caves of Jamaica grow much more quickly than those found in more northern parts of the world. This process is known as karst percolation. Basically, this is what we see, and this is the reality we don't see. Formations can be spectacular as a result, and this is what makes the island such a wonderful place for cavers and paradise for speleologists. Caving is indeed Jamaica's best-kept secret. However, so much water interacting with soluble limestone introduces the flood risk, which is real and dangerous in certain caves. People and animals can get trapped because of the water levels rising at a rate that would not be believed unless seen. That is why you should never ever go into a cave in Jamaica unless you know what you're doing. And even then, there should be at least 3 people in a group. Be aware that if you run into trouble by getting lost or having a serious injury, no one will come to rescue you, because no one will be able to. The people from the district will not have proper equipment or expertise. The same applies to the police or even the military. Their power and guns won't matter when it comes to a cave.
We'll call this one crab entrance.
Yeah.
Having said that, thoughtful cave exploration with a properly skilled team can be a magnificent and rewarding experience of a lifetime, helping you discover Jamaica you've never seen before.
Show why it's important to keep people out of that side.
Wow, this is nice.
Yeah, no jumping.
No jumping?
No shaking.
No shaking. Maybe one person at a time, eh?
This is
Wow, this is so awesome. Unlike many caves, Dromilly Cave is well known locally and has been used informally as a show cave on a regular basis. Geologically, the site is formed in a white limestone hill with roaring river nearby. The entrance to the cave is on the hill, about 50 meters above the plain and above the water table, making Dromilly Cave relatively safe, since it's not a component of the local hydrological system. Visits to Dromilly Cave site are known to have occurred as early as 1877, as evidenced by graffiti on the walls of the eastern branch. However, systematic research began in 1951 with the Geological Survey Department. Wow, it's nice and chilly here. When you enter the cave, the first thing you feel is cool, moist air, which is kind of sticky. One of the things you might need to know is that it's very difficult to do any photography or filming. Some parts of the cave have air full of tiny flying creatures that get into everything, and then there is mud everywhere. If it gets into the moving parts of your camera, you can wave your camera goodbye. The best way to deal with it, just keep your camera in a Ziploc and take it out for the photo or video and then hide it back again.
There, and we're there right now. And going through that narrow stuff over there that goes into this part. And so I call there's a light hole too, isn't there? There, and light coming down. Unless I'm mistaken.
The current map of the cave was created in 1993. The two main branches of the cave are quite dissimilar. The eastern side consists of interconnected chambers, while the western side is rift-like.
It ends right here.
I should have followed Wendy.
Ah.
So what is this 1424?
It's 14th of May, 1928, and the 14th, this one, I have no idea what that is.
There is something. You see it on this side? Oh, 1896.
Caves in Jamaica are biological islands with rich and diverse communities of living creatures dwelling in the dark. Dromilly Cave is not an exception. At least 3 bat species are currently present in the cave, including Jamaican fruit bat. There are also a lot of smaller creatures. Some of them I've personally never seen before. Like, who's this guy? Is it a scorpion or a spider? Turns out it's actually both. It's called, well, this word, which I can't pronounce, but commonly known as whip spider or tailless whip scorpion. And guess what? It's totally harmless and lives mainly in the caves.
What is it called?
You'll see Neotomyafari, and you'll see one of the larvae right there. Okay, see the little white worm thing?
Yes.
All right, they drop these fishing lines and they catch other little bugs like fungus gnats flying around, and then that's what they eat. Now these things are incredibly delicate, so if you get too close, talk at them, breathe at them, wave your hand, they get all tangled up, and these things gotta make a whole lot more, you know? And a lot of things that live in caves, it's sort of a nutrient poor environment, so we don't want to stress them by mashing up these little lines. Now, this critter here, the Enfari, this is the cave, I believe, where they were described or where most of the studies were done on them. So that's why this is a very particularly important site for these things. Though they are relatively common in a lot of moist caves, especially river caves.
While we're here, let's talk about how people actually find wild caves in Jamaica. As you can guess, Google knows nothing about this type of Jamaica attractions. There are a few commercialized caves marked on the map, but that's about it. So if you want a wild cave, where do you even start? Well, the easiest thing is to get in touch with Jamaica Caves Organization and see if you can help them while they are helping you with the experience. And if you're a professional caver / hardcore explorer traveler, definitely get in touch with them, since your skills and experience might be an asset in some expeditions around Jamaica. There is a link to Jamaica Caves Organization in the description of this video, so if you want to support them and their work, certainly do. But how do people from Jamaica Caves Organization find the caves in the first place? They are using a combination of 3 things. Firstly, it's Alan Fincham's book called Jamaica Underground. The author devoted years of his life to exploring and documenting Jamaican caving systems, and his book gives a very good overview of the areas where caves are located, although some of the sites listed are extremely difficult to find. This leads us to the second thing, the topographic maps of the area you're planning to visit. The metric grid found on these maps is the coordinate system used in the Jamaican Cave Register. With the standard orienteering techniques, it is possible to logically deduce where a given cave may be found, and then by use of map and compass, find it. And the last but not least, people. Once you arrive in the area where the cave is presumably located, you need to look for an older gentleman who has farmed in the area and most likely would know not only about the shelters, but also about a serious cave, if there is one in the community. The people who live in rural communities are generally some of the kindest people ever. They will be happy to share all the information with you and ask for nothing in return. But do give something in return. If you're going into the hills, have some drinks to share and Jamaican dollars to thank people for their time and help. It's obvious, but I'm saying just in case. One of the main challenges for cavers in Jamaica is finding the actual entrance. For example, the entrance to many large cave systems are often quite small or hidden in the bush, to the point that you might be standing a few meters away from the entrance, yet see no trace of the way in. That is why it often takes a few attempts before the cave is found, explored, and properly documented.
We split up to look for this collapse. Steph went east,
Yeah.
I went west, and I was about to turn south, and I said, all right, let me go a few more yards west, and popped right here to this massive collapse pit here. I scrambled down, saw a drum, 55-gallon drum sitting down in the cave there, climbed in, followed a crawl and came to a main passage, saw another drum, went in about 60 yards, didn't have my helmet, just a flashlight, so I came back, got Steph, lucky he was close by, and we're gonna go down now and explore Drum Cave.
With so many caves on the island, you might be wondering, why isn't caving developed as a huge thing for Jamaican tourism? The answer is obvious. It's very difficult to adapt a complex cave system, which is like a living organism with all the creatures, darkness, mud and slippery surfaces that all possess a certain level of danger. How are you going to turn all this into a popular tourist attraction? However, this has been done, with Green Grotto Caves, for example, which is a properly commercialized tourist attraction with all the convenient trails and things. And there will be a separate episode on it. But most other caves in Jamaica require a certain level of fitness. Like Dromilly Cave, for example, you don't have to be really fit, but you should be able to enjoy a walk through humid tropical rainforest and climb up the hills to enter a hidden cave that hardly anyone gets a chance to see. It's the kind of experience I would personally choose over anything when I travel. And if you're like me, excited about all the off-the-beaten-path travel and wish to do something exclusive like this, I have some really good news. It's called Bunkers Hill Cultural Experience and River Tour. It was launched by the locals living in Bunkers Hill, which is an area close to Dromilly Cave. The tour includes the introduction to rural Jamaica, the history of the place, the river tour and swimming, authentic Jamaican lunch, and hike through the rainforest to the cave and the cave excursion itself. This package sets a great example of how community tourism can be implemented by adding more beautiful caves to the list of desired places for visitors, as well as allowing them to spend quality time in rural Jamaica. Of course, there can be some restrictions now due to COVID, but check the description for details of the tour and how to get in touch with the community. There was also a short documentary filmed by Smile Jamaica about the tour, and I'm attaching a link to that video as well. If you're interested in Jamaica off the beaten path, Bunkers Hill is certainly the place to consider. They run the tour in an eco-friendly way, making sure it's safe for tourists and the cave is properly protected. That was one of the reasons why Jamaica Caves Organization had been invited to investigate the place to be able to launch it for tourism. And the footage of that successful expedition you've just watched. Thank you so much for watching. If you've enjoyed this video and want to see more of the beaten path adventures in Jamaica, don't forget to subscribe. My name is Irina and I'll see you in the next one. Bye for now.